Hello and welcome to the New Normal with Steve Benaquist. I'm New Normal and this is the Steve Benaquist. Hey everybody, welcome to the New Normal Lounge. Got my hibiscus tea and managed not to choke on a floating petal of hibiscus flower right then. We've got our sea salt lamp, our little wooden guy, platypus, and I'm sporting my relatively new Arson is Lit shirt that I designed. I don't know if I've had that on here yet. Interesting. I think it's not as strong a joke. It's a stronger joke than my Who's Boofin' Who shirt, but I wore that the other day and it got a big laugh because it doesn't make sense to anyone but my cousin who I was meeting. Yep, I got a cousin in town, two of them, one from each side of the family. And one of the things we'll be talking about today is the Dodgers season opener game that we watched in Atwater Village. So that's coming up. More on that later. Also, I went on a whale watching trip on Wednesday, and we'll talk about that, meaning I'll talk and you'll watch and listen. And yes, communing with nature's gentle giants of the sea. There are other different gentle giants on land, presumably in the air as well. And I'll get to some of your letters. And that's been a little while, so looking forward to that. We have one from Pat in Flat Plains, Kansas, and today just might be the day that I read it. So, before we get to all that, I do want to do it uninterrupted, and I want to give Lyle Gerber, my executive producer, a chance to do the plug I promised him for Waba Grill. Although we don't have sponsors on the show, we do only accept donations, but as a favor to Lyle, who would rather I not mention this, but has gambling debts with the owner of a certain branch of the Waba Grill Asian-inspired food chain, I do allow him to do this. So Lyle, take it away.
That's very kind of you, Steve, but no need this week.
Really?
Thanks.
All right, well,
Maybe
there
next
you go. Don't necessarily go to Waba Grill this month, all right, or this week. Let's get to it then, shall we? Let's talk about that Dodgers game. So, met up with my cousin, and we sat there in this outdoor pub having links and watching the game. Sort of. We were more talking to each other. We did it proper LA style. Showed up 3 innings in, and but for you anti-baseball fans, that was still in time to see the first score of the game. So it was kind of inane, actually.
Waba Grill.
I thought I sensed something. Anyway, so Justin Turner's on first. I forget who was at bat, but he hits a homer. Should have been a 2-run homer, but it looked like it was caught to Turner, who was on first, so he didn't run. So it was a 1-run homer with the guy still left on first. The weirdest thing I've seen in a long time.
Waba Grill.
Nothing weird. So, I guess if you're a Rockies fan, you're happy they won, and that makes you right because they won. That's how sports fanning works, I understand. I say it's a little unfair. You guys have the advantage of that you're the Mile High City up there. I believe you play in Denver, and I used to buy comics when I was a teenager from a place called Mile High Comics. I'd order them. They were famous, and this is before the internet, or kind of, I don't know. But I've never been, and it always seemed very magical. But now that I think about it, everything in Denver is a mile high. So it's not like the comic store is a mile high and everything else is way down on the ground below it. It's probably not that impressive, really. If any of you are from Denver or can explain it, let me know if it is really impressive. Maybe it's a mile higher than everything else that's there. Maybe I'm wrong. It is this just... do you have to be a member of the Mile High Club to do it? That's another question. Moving on to the whales. Yes, longtime viewers will know that back in August of 2020, I went down from Los Angeles to Orange County to Laguna, and for my birthday, I had bought tickets for a whale watch cruise, and it was a Saturday in August, so it didn't matter that it was the height of the COVID pandemic at the time, because people were just at the beach and I could not find a parking spot. And so I had to drive away, whales unwatched, unseen by me. And I know that might have been a great disappointment to them.
Wobble
But
Grill.
it's so weird. I keep thinking that I see something. Anyway, I'll show you some pictures, and I'll tell you the tale of the whale, because it was pretty dang exciting. Yes. Is that, yeah. So there we were, out in the water. It was very soothing, very nice to be in the sea air, just to be out in the water. It's suburbia by the sea, really. It's not that exciting.
Not that exciting is right. Hello, everybody. This is executive producer Lyle Gerber of the New Normal with Steve Benaquist, and I'm afraid I was perhaps a little bit less than honest before when I told Steve that I didn't need to say anything about Wabba Grill because, well, my gambling debts due to Howard, the manager and the franchise owner of the Santa Monica and Vermont Avenue branch of Wabba Grill, Asian-inspired cuisine popular around Southern California, has grown, and and wouldn't you know it, well, it's April Fool's, the day we're taping this. You'll see this on the 2nd, but we're recording this on the 1st, and so I think I can take license here and take my liberty, and this is my little joke on Steve, and that is that I'm going to tell you about Wabba Grill while he thinks he's telling you about a whale. So without further ado, let's get our Wabba on. Oh yeah. Wabba dabba doo. If you live in Southern California or are willing to travel to specifically the intersection of Vermont Avenue and Santa Monica Boulevard and East Hollywood, Los Feliz, you want some Asian-inspired deliciousness, whether it's hand-rubbed salmon, teriyaki-inspired beef, or brined chicken. I think they brine it. I'm not sure. It tastes like it's a little bit salty. All on a bed of rice, or a bed of vegetables, or a bed of noodles. You put that meat in whatever bed you want. Oh, yeah. First, you choose what kind of bed you want. Actually, first you come through the door and there's a little bell on it that jingles. Howard put that there himself. And the competent and friendly staff will say, "Hey, Lyle, the usual? If your name's Lyle and you usually order them." Oh, hold on just a sec.
Anyway, so, well, that pretty much wraps up the whale trip. I'm so glad it was so amazing. I mean, it was such an amazing it was such an amazing interaction with nature, and the story I just told, breathtaking, and I don't think that I could ever tell it again. Not the same way. But I guess that brings us to our letters now. We have one from Lucille in Washington, B.C. That's British Columbia. Interesting that Canada would have a place called Washington, but
all right, well, this doesn't seem
And,
promising. Seems like a
she
good place
says,
as any to jump
"Dear
back
Steve,
in to the
my
Wabba Grill
goodness,
experience."
you're a handsome man. I'm clinically blind,
Yeah.
and but I can tell by your voice, which I don't
So you've
actually
walked
find
in.
appealing, but
They
it
may or may
does
not say,
indicate
"What's up, Mr.
that
Gabriel?"
your
would be the
face and
haps.
perhaps body, it would be appealing to me.
Oh boy, I had
So
some
I
of
can
that
say
chili
that
sauce.
with confidence.
Well, after
My
you've selected your
one's other
bed
senses
and your vegetables and your
loses
protein,
one,
they also have
become
toppings. They have
enhanced. And
diced
so,
up
based on
scallions.
my
They
hearing
have
experience of you,
sesame
yes,
seeds.
smell.
They have jujubes.
I
Yep,
can
they
say
have
confidently, you are one
chocolate
handsome
chips.
devil. Signed, Petunia.
They have
in
sprinkles.
Washington,
Oh
D.C.
man,
Well,
sprinkles.
Petunia, thank
And
you
then
for
there's the
saying
sauces.
that.
They have a soy sauce. They have
do
teriyaki
what I
sauce.
can,
They
you
have
know. And if
honey mustard.
really sure
They
how
have a
you're smelling me,
chipotle
but,
mayo.
maybe it's
And
a smell that's implied
Bosco.
by my
You
voice
can
again,
squirt
like
some
my
Bosco
appearance
on
is
top of
implied by
there
my
and
voice.
And the fun doesn't stop there, because once you've enjoyed your wobble bowl, you sit yourself down at one of their 12 symmetrical square tables with each seat 4
And all right, here we
uncomfortable
have
metal chairs
the letter from
while you listen
Pat
to
from Flat Plains,
hip-hop
Kansas.
music or other pop music from the last
And no,
1 to
no, I'm
15
not
years.
going to ignore it today. Today, I
And,
read it. Here we go.
excuse
Pat.
me. Oh, well,
Dear
here,
Steve,
well, let me just turn him down a little
I
bit.
am Pat.
All right.
of
Hold on a second. Okay, so let's get into this. It's once you finish your bowl and you've enjoyed that popular music, the place at the Waba Grill at Santa Monica in Vermont is in a strip mall which contains a froyo place, a bank, and a Rite Aid. Okay, and it's got accommodation for up to 74 cars in the parking lot, or 70 cars and 8 motorcycles. Well, 36 cars and perhaps well over 122 motorcycles. If it were an all-motorcycle crowd that came there, I wouldn't be surprised if you could fit over 200 in a safe and orderly fashion. Now, remember those other stores I told you about? You've eaten your bowl, you can go get a little banking done, get a froyo, and then pop over to the Rite Aid and get yourself, some seasonal novelties, some leftover Easter eggs, if it's after Easter. You can get some vitamins, a bag of chips, some prophylactics, and perhaps a puzzle, a Charles Wysocki puzzle. And then you might even have worked up an appetite for another wobble bowl, so there you go. Anyway, that's all I got to say about it. Till next time, wabba dabba doo, and happy April Fool's Day.
That is why I remain Pat of Flat Plains, Kansas. Well, Pat, that was very moving. I'm glad I finally read a letter from you. That's pretty much it for this episode of The New Normal. Wraps it up for this week. And until next week, I remain Steve Benaquist, reminding you that if it ain't new, it ain't normal.